Hello guys. Day 7 is over. It was a pretty short stream because I had night shift, going back to an evening shift, and I only have like a couple of hours to go to sleep for. So we're gonna try and make it short. We killed Katrina. We're gonna talk about that. We got a Watcher's Eye. I'm gonna show you right now. That is P for the Watcher's Eye. So yeah, minus 15 light res while affected by Wrath. It cost me 2x 150 chaos. Pretty good price. Yesterday it was 7 exalts, by the way. Prices went down severely, which is good and bad, but hey. You know, it's good because, hey, I got this one cheap, but it's bad because when I do kill my next Uber Elder, I might sell my shit pretty cheap because that means more and more and more people are killing Uber Elders now. So there is that thing. But it's just natural evolution of prices in PoE and economy, so nothing to worry about. We did kill the Uber Elder, it was fine. We got basically the Mark of the Shaper, sold for like 1x, seems good. And then we were able to afford the Watcher's Eye. Now there's another Watcher's Eye that's a bit cheaper. It costs, I don't know how much it costs, but it has increased lightning damage while affected by Wrath. So this is the second best this is the second best choice for you if you can't afford this one. Now, let's talk about this, we're going to make a little rant, maybe, of Betrayal League. We're going to talk about the league mechanic. I did kill Katrina, and, okay, so the fight itself was really fun the first time because I tried figuring out what to do, and then I did, and then it was the simplest thing ever, and then we did it super smoothly on the second time, except I left my portal to reflask, and then when I got back the ground was covered with shit, and I insta-died 4 times in a row, kind of. So it was very, very smooth. She was brought down to like her very last phase, but the point where I left the portal to go back to get my flasks was just terrible, so I died 4 times. So I shouldn't have died there. Yeah, next time I'll know better, obviously, but that's it. Second time the fight is completely figured out. It is absolutely nothing like Shaper. It is absolutely nothing like All. And overall, I think it is pretty underwhelming. And I was hoping for a bit more. Um, I was hoping for a bit more. We killed her. It's fine. We got a shield that has something to do with specters. From all the research I've done today, and we're talking day 7 in the league, right? So there's only 2 unique items she can drop. Maybe there's something that's extremely rare that nobody's dropped yet, but from everything I've seen so far, if you have any information, please let me know, because I'm actually very interested to know, and it's going to help me come to a couple of decisions, what other items, if at all, she can drop. Okay, and this is the mastermind, the boss of Betrayal League, right? So that's what we're talking about, the boss fight of Betrayal League, right? So, from what I've seen, she can drop 2 items. One is a flask that helps you sustain in maps. Nothing too crazy for my build. Maybe for your build it's worth anything. But in PoE trade they sell it for like 1 chaos or 1 alchemy. So not exactly something you want to have an incentive to do. And the shield that I found that has something to do with specters, also worth about 1C or so. They all have Veiled mod, and you can get Veiled mod on Flask, which is pretty cool. But ultimately, I'm not planning on using either the shield or the Flask, most likely in any of my builds this league. Because, yeah. If, however, there is a pretty cool item that she can drop, I would, yeah, love to know if there's something that's like really rare, really worth it. Yeah, if not, what happens is, as you can see from this board right here, question marks. And this is after I've played some maps, quite a few maps after I killed the boss. Right, so when you kill the boss, it resets your entire board. which in my particular case was awful because I had 99% in research, I had 96% in fortification, over 95% in transportation and intervention, and I had tier 3 guys with bunch of scarabs and maps and cool loot just waiting to happen. But I had no idea it is actually going to reset my entire board and basically ruin about 1 day of grinding, which is a lot. Because getting these tier 3, oh my god, was such a pain. And all that progress, all these safe houses are all gone. Now you could say, hey Moses, you could have assumed, I mean, it makes sense they reset it. And you know, in hindsight, when you think about it, sure, yeah, it makes sense they would reset it. But when you're inside the maps, when you're inside the, you know, the stream, talking to chat, you kind of like, you don't really think about it. You think like, okay, I'm gonna kill the boss and then we're gonna continue. You don't really think about what's going to happen to these 99% people. You think they're kind of like gonna stay there and the syndicate's gonna stay, but no, it resets the entire board. The game starts from the beginning. So this is something you should know. Luckily for you, you can learn from my mistake, and it's fine. But it was a bit of a bummer. Yeah, should have thought about it. I didn't. Bit of a bummer. Okay, so now let's talk about the loot. The whatever she drops, it's fine. Flask, whatever. Talked about it, but the actual loot in the safe houses doesn't seem to be worth doing, to be honest. I mean, the only good thing I've seen there are the scarabs, and right now they drop like extremely rarely. It takes me about 30 maps to open a safe house, roughly, on average, let's say 30, 40 maps, something like that. And when that happens, there's like a 20% chance I'll get a scarab or 2 or 3. Okay, maximum I think I've gotten off of a safe house was 3, and it really depends on what master you have there or what syndicate member or whatever. And it's random, right? So it's kind of hard to bring the one that you want to the safe house that you're about to open. That's the whole point of figuring it out, and it has to do with the relationships and sometimes the choices you make. And these choices are RNG based, and also they have, of course, some methodology, but it really is sometimes you just need to have the luck. And if you don't have it, the certain master with the cool scarabs is not going to be able to get into a situation for you to be putting it here to be max rank at the same time that you have 100% progress. Like this time, I don't. We're not going to talk about the actual league mechanic, but you know, because it's an entire discussion, I don't want to get into it. But the point is, if you figure, if you're catching my drift here, is that very rarely all the stars are going to align for you to have the master that you want be rank 3, which means he drops you the most loot, be on the safe house you're about to open. This type of stuff just doesn't happen frequently enough, and as a result you're not dropping scarabs, you're getting all these other things that are happening, like armors, whatever, with veiled mods, which in all due respect they're cool, but very rarely you're actually going to end up using one of them, you know, for them to match your build. And also I haven't seen anything that has something with focus. Like I don't know how to activate the focus mode situation. I have a bunch of veiled mods that have, while focused, get this buff, but I still don't know how to get the focus itself. How am I being focused, right? There's no skill gem, there's no nothing, and so far from veiled mods I can't craft, or I don't exactly know how to get to that. But let's say, okay, so you get those rare items, and the second thing is scarabs that we talked about that are very, very rare. And scarabs control how much delve you're going to be doing, because you know there are scarabs that gives you Nico, and then you have sulfite, and then you can go do delving, right? But yeah, scarabs only work once. They're not like league stones that have charges. So you finally found the scarab, so you can do multiple maps with it. No, you can only do it once, and you find one every, like, basically I don't know. This entire week I found like 8, right? So I played 4 days and 10 hours. That's like 110 hours total if I do the math correctly, and that's kind of a lot. 110 hours in a week, and I found 8 scarabs, guys. 8 scarabs. I've done hundreds and hundreds of maps and I found 8 scarabs, right? And you go to PoE trade, no wonder they cost you 14, 13, 12, 15 chaos, and with more currency in the economy, I can only predict that they're going to become more and more expensive, at least the valuable ones, the one that drops more maps, the ones that give Nico, the ones that give, I don't know, the cool shit, divination cards. They're going to become more and more and more expensive with more currency, and they're extremely, depletable, and they just evaporate too quick. They don't have any charges, like I mentioned, and they drop extremely rarely. You can't use them on every map. It's not like League Stones, So that, in my opinion, it should be the core of the League mechanic, and that's exactly what's not happening because they're that rare, and I've only got the chance to use them 8 times out of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of maps that I've seen. Which was pretty cool because I got 4 extra Harbingers twice, some Perandus once, additional maps once, I got Nico once, and like chance for more unique items once or twice. So it was cool when it lasted, but it lasted a brief, blink of light in the 110 hours that was this week's gameplay, and let's say 100 hours of mapping. Right? So kind of underwhelming, especially when, in my opinion, this should be the core of the game. Scarabs should be cool, should be adding more stuff to our instances. So I guess this is my rant. The loot in the delves. Oh yeah, I guess there's something else to talk about. The whole crafting. I don't know if I mentioned the whole trial crafting. First I thought it's pretty cool, and then I thought, hey, this is kind of garbage. I've spammed thousands of chaos orbs and got nothing. Why do they think that giving me 8 seconds to figure out exactly what currency types I have here using essences or whatever on some random normal item that I bring with me is going to help me create something? Why is this my reward? This is not really a reward. This is just a rare item that was spammed 5 times with chaos. So let's say 5 rare items, and this is my reward after taking forever to open a safe house. It takes like 30-40 maps to open a safe house, and then that's what I get. So I don't know, could do better. Luckily with us, GGG takes kind of feedback to heart, and they implement very, very quickly. So I hope somehow this video will get to somebody, and maybe they'll change something. And I really do think that at least from the stream, from the vibe that I'm getting, people kind of like think the same that I do. So if you guys think the same or not, feel free to leave a comment. I'm streaming every day, all day. You guys are more than welcome to join, hang out. About to kill Uber Elder in the next stream, so be there early. Maybe we'll get that sick triple hatred jewel. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.